Magandang araw sa inyo lahat. Bilang pagpapatuloy ng lessons para sa Life Science ng Earth and Life Science, pag-uusapan natin ang first lesson para sa Module 2 na Reproduction of Plants. Para sa Module 2 na Perpetuation of Life, ang mga competencies na nakapaloob ay ang mga sumusunod. Number 1, describe the different ways of how plants reproduce. Number 2, describe the different ways on how representative animals reproduce. Number 3, describe the process of genetic engineering. And lastly, evaluate the benefits and risks of genetically modified organisms or GMOs. For our first lesson, our objective is to describe how plants reproduce sexually and asexually. Before we proceed with the discussion and with the activities, alalahanin natin na sa first module na tungkol sa Introduction to Life Sciences, na-discuss natin ang mga sumusunod na lesson. Number 1, the historical development of the concept of life, kung saan pinakita dito kung paano nag-evolve ang buhay mula sa simplest form of life during the formation of the planet or in the early age of our planet papunta sa mga organisms na meron tayo ngayon. Sa lesson 2 naman, na-discuss ang origin of first life forms. Dito, na-discuss ang iba't ibang experiments na ginawa ng iba't ibang scientists to explain how life are formed or emerge. And for lesson 3, or the unifying themes in the study of life, ito naman, diniscuss dito ang mga characteristics of living things, ang mga requirements ng living things to live, and some processes that all forms of life undergo. Okay, so para sa first activity natin, para sa lesson number 1 na reproduction of plants, magkaroon tayo ng crossword puzzle. So, pwede nyong i-pause ang video na ito at subukang sagutan. So, we start with number 1. So, the long and slender part that connects the anther to the flower. So, that is the filament. Number 2, found at the tip of the style, it catches the pollen grains. So this one is stigma. Number 3, down. These are the small leaf-like parts growing at the base of the petals. Collectively, they are known as calyx. So, ang tawag dyan ay sepals. Number 4, across. It is the part of the flower to which the stalk is attached to. It's small and found at the center of the base of the flower. That's receptacle. Number 5, down tayo. The female part of the flower, it is called the pistil. Number 5, across. This layer lies just above the sepal layer, often bright in colors, as their function is to attract pollinators. Petals. Number 6, across. The male part of the flower, so it starts with letter S, and this is the stamen or stamen. Number 7, down. The part where pollens are produced. So it starts with letter A, and that is anther. 8, across. This is the part of the flower or flower that holds the stigma. That's the style. And lastly, number 9, across, it forms the base of the pistil. It holds the ovules or the eggs of the flower. That's the ovary. So remember the different parts of the plants. So in connection with that, let's have this another activity. So you are to label the parts of the flowers. Use the information from the activity in the previous slide. So pwede nyong i-pause muna or balikan yung activity sa previous slide to review some of the parts. or the description para mas madali nating ma-identify ang iba't ibang parts of the flowers. So number 1, so this part is called the petals. So yung makukulay na bahagi ng flowers that attracts pollinators. Number 2, so number 2 and number 3 are pointing to this and this. So yung number 2, siya ay the ovary. So ang function ng ovary, it holds the egg cell or the egg of the flower called the ovule. Yung number 3 naman, this is the part in number 3. That's the stigma, kung saan napupunta ang mga pollens. And collectively, number 4, these two parts are called the female reproductive organ of the flower, which is called the pistil. Number 5. So this part is where pollen grains are produced. The anther. Number 6. The long tube that holds the anther, that's the filament. And collectively, anther and filament is the male reproductive organ of the flower, which is called the stamen or stamen. And number 9, this one, the part that technically holds the flower, that's the receptacle. And number 10, that's the sepal. Alright, final activity. Complete the selection below. Choose the word in the word pool below. So you have pistil, stamen, stigma, anther, ovary, ovule, pollen, filament, and style. So there's a reminder here that there will be 2 items in the selection which will have the same answer, or merong dalawang word dito na magagamit ng dalawang beses. So pwede nyong i-pause to try and answer this activity. So let's answer this activity. So the male part of the flower is called the stamen, which consists of the anther and filament. The female part or reproductive part of the flower is called the pistil, and it consists of the stigma, style, and the ovule. The male gamete or sex cell is made in the pollen, which means that the pollen carries the male reproductive organ of the flower, and it is found inside the anther grain. The female gamete is found in the ovary, and it is called the ovule. So remember the parts of the flowers, the female and the male parts of the flower and their function. Okay, let's unfold. So we start with sexual reproduction of the plants. So sexual reproduction begins with the meeting of gametes or sex cells of parents. So for reproduction to occur, kailangan daw na yung sex cell ng parent plant, which means yung female part and the male part, or the sex organs or sex cells, I mean, of the male and female should meet. Kailangan silang magtagpo. So what are the stages of sexual reproduction? So we have formation of pollen and egg, and of course pollination and fertilization. So describe natin ang bawat stage. So pollen and egg formation happens in the anther and ovule of the flowers respectively. So yung pollen, it contains the male reproductive cell, and the formation happens in the anther, while the formation of the egg cell or the ovule happens in the ovary of the flower. Each process follows meiotic cell division. So pag sinabi nating meiotic cell division, this type of cell division produce a set of chromosomes na walang ka-pair. So, wala siyang kapares. Hindi kagaya pag diploid naman, ibig sabihin, dalawang pair of chromosomes, which means kung yung parent ay merong certain number of chromosomes, yung mapoproduce nitong daughter cells ay meron ding kaparehong bilang ng chromosomes. So, pag meiotic, kung halimbawa, let's say 20, yung parent, yung mapoproduce niya na daughter cells ay meron lamang kalahati ng 20, which is 10. So, that is meiotic cell division. So, the next process is pollination. So, ano yung pollination? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from the stamen to the stigma. So, mapupunta yung pollen mula doon sa anther papunta sa anther and stamen, which is the male reproductive organ, papunta sa stigma. So, may dalawang uri ng pollination. Yung una ay self-pollination at ang pangalawa naman ay tinatawag na cross-pollination. Kung ang pollen ng isang halaman ay napunta sa sarili niyang stigma at ito ay nag-produce or nag-develop itong pollen na ito, or na-transfer, ang pollen na ito doon nga sa stigma, ang tawag doon ay self-pollination. Pero dahil ang pollen ay nadadala ng iba't ibang pollinators, kagaya ng bees, ng butterfly, and other insects, napupunta ang mga pollens na ito from one plant to another at natatransfer ito doon sa pinuntahan ng isang pollinator. So, ang tawag naman doon ay cross-pollination. So, the third process is fertilization. It happens when the male reproductive cell and the female reproductive sex cell ay nag-meet. So, base sa illustration natin, so, makikita natin that the pollen in the anther is transferred to the stigma. So, what happens is that the pollen will develop a tube na kung saan nandun yung sperm at pupunta na ito doon sa location kung nasaan yung ovule or yung egg cell ng plants. And then, the meeting of the sperm and the egg of the plant is called fertilization. So, after fertilization, magde-develop na into seeds or fruits, and then magge-germinate, magiging seedling, magiging mature plant, and the cycle goes on and on. Ngayon, sa production or sa union ng sperm and egg cell ng halaman, merong isang sperm na i-fertilize yung egg. What will happen to the other sperm? So, magde-develop sila into what we call the endosperm. So, yung endosperm na ito will be the source of nutrition ng embryo or yung na-fertilize na egg cell ng halaman. So, we are done with sexual reproduction of plants. Ano naman yung asexual reproduction? So, it is a type of reproduction that creates genetically identical offspring. So, it happens without the meeting of the sex cells of the plant. Dito rin nagkakaroon ng production ng identical or genetically identical offspring kasi yung pag-usbong ng halaman or pag-grow ng halaman ay nagmumula din dun sa parent. So, dahil walang variation na tinatawag ng genes or ng genetic material, so, hindi nagkakaroon ng magkaibang DNA or genes itong na-form ng mga halaman na ito. So, asexual reproduction. So, one type of asexual reproduction is vegetative propagation or reproduction, and it results in new plants individuals without the production of seeds or spores. So, meron tayong 5 types dito sa slide natin ng asexual reproduction, specifically vegetative propagation: the bulb, the corm, rhizome, runner, and tuber. So, siguro magbibigay ako ng example na halaman or gulay ng bawat isa. So, yung bulb, ang example niya ay sibuyas, bawang. Ang corm naman, ang example nito ay taro or gabi. Para sa rhizome, ang example nito ay luya or ginger. Ang runner naman, pwedeng example nito is strawberry. At yung tuber, pwedeng example nito ay yung root crops kagaya ng potato. So in terms of the description of each vegetative type of plants or propagated plants, one is bulb. It contains underground stem. Leaves are attached to the stem. Leaves contain stored food. Corms are solid stem bases. They are round and have a basal plate like a bulb but are flatter in appearance. When corms become exhausted, they use energy from the growing leaves and stem to create new corm. So, pag daw binungkal natin itong mga gabi na ito, makikita natin na yung ibang part na parang natuyo, kagaya halimbawa ng parang natuyong pasas, ibig sabihin daw nun na exhaust niya ng halaman na ito, yung kanyang sarili, and parang it decided daw na mag-form ng panibagong usbong or corm. Rhizomes are swollen stems that grow horizontally just under the surface of the soil and send up leaves and flowers at intervals. Siguro minsan pag nasa bahay tayo tas meron tayong luya, mapapansin natin na parang may umuusbong na color green dito sa luya na ito. So, basically, nagfo-form ng or nagde-develop ng panibagong part ng halaman which is genetically identical doon sa parent na halaman. Runner or stolon is a horizontal branch from the base of the plant that produces new plants from buds at its tip. So, kaya siya tinawag na runner kasi parang yung bahagi nito or yung branch nito ay nagde-develop or umuusbong horizontally. So, para siyang naglalakad. Parang ganun daw. Tubers are thick underground stems. Potato is a tuber with leathery skin and numerous eyes which are points from which plants grow. So, I don't know if you have seen a potato. Parang may mga dimple yung potato na ito, and these dimples ay pwedeng pag-usbungan ng panibagong halaman. So, one application of our lesson is the life of a horticulturist. So, ano ba yung horticulturist? They are professionals who work with all aspects of cultivating the small-scale growing plants. They use scientific methods to cultivate fruits, vegetables, non-food plants, and ornamentals for gardens. So, madaming sakop yung trabaho ng horticulturist. Pwedeng they design or propagate plants. Pwedeng nandun sila sa scientific na kung saan pinag-aaralan nila kung paano mag-propagate or mag-reproduce ng plants at madami pang iba. So, horticulturists either work in agriculture or landscaping. Horticulturists research plant propagation and cultivation, crop production, plant genetics, plant biochemistry, and physiology. So, in other countries, yung mga horticulturists, parang it requires knowledge in science like biochemistry and physiology of plants, of course. So, malay natin, isa sa inyo na nanonood at nakikinig ng ating video lesson wants to become a horticulturist, lalong-lalo na sa panahon ngayon ng pandemya, ang ilan sa ating mga kasama sa bahay ay mga naging plantita at plantito na. So, as student, pwede nyong start na maging hobby ang paghahalaman. And malay ninyo, yung development ng skills na ito will lead you to, income and skills na pwede nyo magamit pagtanda ninyo. So, some points to remember. So, in the beginning of our presentation, we had an activity discussing and presenting the male and female reproductive organs. We also had a simple explanation of the difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. And of course, we also did a short discussion and description of the vegetative propagation and of course the life of a horticulturist. So ito pwede nyong gawin separately from these videos. From this video, you may want to compare and contrast sexual from asexual reproduction. So yung nasa gitna na space, ano yung pagkakapareho nila? So yung nasa gilid, ano yung distinct sa bawat isa? So ang tawag natin dito is Venn diagram. Okay, before we end this discussion, let's pause and think about this. Our farmers, especially in our country, their lives and struggles. I don't know if you're familiar with stories like we have farmers na nakapagpatapos ng mga anak nila, and then suddenly because of education, nag-acquire na education mga anak nila and become professionals, wala nang magmana nung farm. So wala nang nagtatanim. So farmers tend to sell itong kanilang lupain to some developers perhaps, or probably some farmers as well. Another thing, in some countries, yung mga farmers, sila yung mayayaman. Pero sa ating bansa, parang baligtad. Kung sino pa yung magsasaka or yung farmers, well, hindi naman natin nila lahat kasi may mga farmers din naman na nag-succeed at talagang malaki talaga yung kita nila. Pero we can argue with that fact, pero as observation, mas madami ang nag-struggle na farmers. And I believe we owe them the things that we put in our plate, yung ating mga pagkain, yung ating bigas. Malaki ang utang na loob natin sa ating mga farmers, and let's honor them by, wag sayangin yung mga pagkain. Lalong-lalo na, usong-uso sa ating mga Pinoy ang extra rice, only rice, at minsan nasasayang ito. And let us think of the hardships ng ating mga bayaning farmers kung paano ito napunta sa ating hapagkainan. So for our next lesson, we discuss the reproduction of animals. So magandang araw sa inyong lahat at maraming salamat.